do this.
What is this?
I forgot he had like the violin emoji going on.
You are the man I saw in my premonition. Are you a licensed official?
I am.
You have one job tonight. Either count the pinfall or record the submission. When it's over, under no circumstances do you resuscitate Brother Nero. Because he must be deleted. And now, I must summon the evil enigma. But
Sometimes I watch this and I wonder how this gimmick got over.
Yeah, right?
Hello, and welcome to the Big Match Minute. This is the show where we take wrestling matches that we think are interesting, and we break them down minute by minute. I'm Diet Coke,
And I am Lilith.
and we are joined by a very special guest today. And once again, I have forgotten to ask ahead of time if they want me to say their last name or any other questions I probably should have asked before. So I'm just going to take a pause, and whatever happens, happens.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Kat. You can find me literally everywhere as Kat Selesnya. That is not my legal last name, otherwise Wizards of the Coast would sue me. And I also watch wrestling.
Hey, Kat. Hey.
Hi. I'm sorry for my bad intro that I just did upon you.
That's entirely fine.
You have done to almost every single one of our guests.
That's accurate. My legal name is Diet Coke, though, and I am hoping to get sued by the Coca-Cola Corporation, but they haven't taken the bait yet.
How are you doing today, Kat?
I was good until I discovered that FARC is still a website.
Yeah, that was a discovery that the three of us had together because of you.
Yeah.
It seems like a bad zone.
And it's just a real weird vibe.
Yeah. Well, speaking of weird vibes,
Let's talk about this minute.
yeah. So, the minute opens up, and we're in the back seat.
We get a nice clean open because, as you'll recall, the last minute ended nice and clean on a fade out.
Yeah. It almost felt like this match was being prepared. They saw us coming. Perhaps we were also seen in Matt Hardy's premonitions.
Perhaps premonition, as he says.
Yeah. So we see these headlights coming up through the whatever we're looking at, grass, and then we're in the back seat of a very normal looking car with a very normal looking ref.
Yep.
Which I enjoy a lot.
I do want to point out, 4 seconds in, for some reason, there is an unlit tiki torch, despite every other tiki torch humanly available in the state of North Carolina being lit for that set.
Hold on, please. Oh my god, you're right! It's just like in the bottom right corner, there's a completely unlit tiki torch. In frame. That is something that we have. There's the lore that's come out, or I guess not the lore, but the fact of the matter that has come out, that the Hardys were not compensated well for, they kind of just did this shoot.
I mean, yeah, it's Impact. Have they compensated anyone well?
Right. And so, they were probably working with a small team, small budget, everything like that. But there have been a number of fun little continuity goofs that we've spotted. Things like unlit tiki torches, drone operators just being
Yeah.
out in the corner of a shot
I've got
somewhere.
another goof coming up
Um,
later on in the minute that I
good.
want to talk about too.
Good.
I don't know if you've
I-
observed it or not, but we'll talk about it later.
I
Yeah.
like to think that they are all creative choices to sort of give a sense of unreality. It's all part of the art film vibes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's
mm-hmm.
all part of that aesthetic of disconnection and disconcertion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now, like, the ref being introduced to that whole disconnect, like this really unsettling vibe, like it's such a perfect, like, what am I trying to think of? You know, this is the normal person being
Right.
dropped into the abnormal circumstances.
He's the everyman that we can relate to as viewers.
Yeah.
He just gets out of the car. He's just, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Now, I would be able to relate to him more
Mhm.
if any of his temperature control settings had been in focus in the establishing shot, because
That's a running theme of the film.
I would like to know how warm it is out when they filmed.
Or, you know, what's on the radio?
Yeah, what FM radio station is he listening to? Or was he originally listening to like Rush Limbaugh and they had to turn it off, you know? There's all sorts of AM radio out there.
Hey, sorry, my cat started pawing at the microphone and I had to shout "Hey" out of nowhere.
Now I will. I'm gonna merit this one mention on the podcast, because unfortunately I thought, I'll have fun. I'll Google who's the referee for this match, and it turns out he's kind of a shitty person. So
bummer.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was a regular Impact referee or if they just hired someone local.
I don't know that for sure, but I know that he was fired from ROH in 2016 for being a bit of a creep.
Oh,
so, yeah,
cool. So the same year this came out.
Yep.
Great. That was not great. I should clarify. That was
yeah.
I don't actually think that's great.
I'm glad we clarified that. But moving on, I do think like just aesthetics wise, they cast this perfectly, because he does have just the like perfect dopey expression on his face.
Perfect dopey expression, the same haircut that my elementary school best friend had. It all kind of paints a picture of a hapless man.
It's a very, like, I want to say, like, Patton Oswalt on King of Queens kind of haircut.
That's a good comparison.
Like, for everyone listening, just, you know, put on, like, one of those exclusively syndication channels that you get on the lower channel digits if you have TV. Pull up an episode of King of Queens with Patton Oswalt in it. There you go. That's kind of the referee's vibe.
Yeah.
Later in this match, he will just stand perfectly still in the background for 30 seconds to see if anyone notices.
That is a
Deep cut
reference. King of Queen, like. Kat, have you ever seen this?
The King of Queens?
There was a scene in King of Queens where, because he was just in the shot,
it was like a party scene and his character was in the background,
but had nothing to do. So Patton Oswalt just stayed perfectly still through the entire scene
as a bit to see if they would notice, and they didn't, and it made it in the episode.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really great clip. Yeah,
check that out if you have the time.
I'll link that in the description.
For Patton, when you do listen to this podcast, because I assume you do, I'm sorry for comparing you to a creepo referee.
Yeah. You at the very worst, you seem like just kind of annoyingly liberal.
Yeah.
So
I also don't think Patton Oswalt would disagree with the idea that the King of Queens is not where he looked his best. Like
You don't think he holds that as like his best work?
No, I think
Pinnacle
I
of his
think
oeuvre.
I think he has very much spoken about it as like, yeah, this was a job I did for money, and
Mhm.
I don't think he's going to take our comments really on the hair team on that show as personally.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna make a Leah Remini joke. Okay. I'm already a suppressive person. It's fine.
So the referee enters the ring, and Matt is in the ring playing violin.
Yep.
Okay, continuity goof.
Yes.
The referee's window is open.
Mm-hmm.
The car window is open, and yet we do not hear the violin sting until he opens the car door in the music.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the windows being wide the fuck open.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
Oh,
No.
yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, you're
Okay,
good.
I don't like that kind of thing. I'm
Yeah, Diet Coke just doesn't like it, but we swear.
Bad for Coca-Cola branding.
Exactly.
There's a moment I want to talk about as the ref gets into the ring that
Please do.
it struck me as intentional. I don't know if it struck either of you the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't it's not a fluid shot of the ref getting into the ring. They kind of cut seconds out of him getting in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which means that there's just like an isolated moment where the ref kind of I know he's not on all fours, like he has his hand on the middle ring rope, but he appears as though he's on all fours, and the bow of the violin kind of goes from Matt Hardy's hand to his body in a way that it's a very, just at a glance, it's like it's suggestive of a BDSM scene without actually being one.
Yeah. And there's intense eye contact.
Yes, that is
between
the
two
big part of
them
it.
that is happening the entire time. It almost seems like the ref is in a trance.
It's like there's a suggestion of like a power dynamic here that seems very intentional and very uncomfortably erotic.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this about me.
This is gonna go some places.
This is gonna go some places. I do practice a lot of hypno kink.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay.
I have done a lot of trancing people,
Mm-hmm.
and there's definitely something to be said for the way that Matt Hardy like abruptly moves this guy as like, so there's a technique that's sometimes used. I forget who pioneered the technique, but like effectively you have a normal conversation with someone and then you just kind of like pull their arm, and it's disarming enough that you can trick their brain into trancing them with just doing that.
Okay.
So like maybe Matt Hardy did trance the referee. You never know.
Perhaps.
I like this.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we had you on specifically for this minute. I'm gonna pretend I planned that.
Yeah.
You can absolutely claim you planned it.
Yeah. And I will say, like, so it's very clear, first of all, that Matt's not actually playing the violin because
Yes.
they're kind of just playing the same clip over and over.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a haunting, kind of hypnotic little sting that they are playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of
So-
Little Sting, so about Darby Allin.
Did you have anything, or did you just want to make that
No,
joke?
I just wanted to make that joke.
I can appreciate that. I can
Yeah,
appreciate that a lot.
Well done.
That said, I do feel like Darby could be a good candidate for like a cinematic match like
Oh my
this.
god. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I guess that was my point.
Yeah. Darby, if you're listening, and we know you are.
Yeah, because Patton told you about the show.
Right. Please do a cinematic match. Maybe like with Matt, to kick up that feud.
Might be fun.
Yeah.
Something other than the Team Taz feud for the first time in like a year.
Yeah. So the ref's in the ring, entranced by Matt Hardy.
Ensorcelled.
Ensorcelled.
Ensorcelled,
Oh, I like that
yes.
word. You are the man I saw in my... Now, Diet Coke, I want you to say it because you had opinions about how this is pronounced. Give it to us.
Premonition.
You are the man I saw in my premonition.
Yeah.
There's a lot of classic Matt Hardy pronunciations in this minute. I'll get to the other ones after we talk about the premonition.
I tried to phonetically write some of them down as well.
Well, two of them, and I don't. Two of them are the special kind of Matt Hardy trick where if I wrote them down, I would just write them down as they're normally spelled because I can't
Right.
figure out what he's doing to make them sound weird, but they sound weird.
Right.
But premonition is I don't know. That's
I hope you can still get pregnant from premonition.
well, exactly. Like, I think on some level, pre is a more, it's got a bit of a suggestive ring that pre doesn't.
Also, I'm just gonna say this: if Matt is seeing this particular band in his premonitions, he needs better weed or something. 'Cause, like...
Well, you see, the premonition line is also very confusing in a way that I think is, I don't know, maybe I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it works. Where he says, "I saw you in my premonition," and then he's like, "Okay, but let me make sure you're an official rep."
Are you a licensed official, or are you just the Birdman who's come to deliver my fate?
He also says official very strangely.
Are you a licensed official?
But that is one of the two where I'm like, I can't figure out what he's doing, but it hits differently in my ear than the word normally does. That's a very unique Matt Hardy ability, which is that he can pronounce a word in the conventional way. It's almost like
he said offician.
Yeah. He just bamboozles you, you know? He just sort of bamboozles your brain with the way he says words sometimes, and it's I applaud him for it, I guess, is what I'm saying.
It's real good.
Okay, was the third one how he said submission instead of submission?
It was exactly that, yes.
We will get to that. So after he is like right there in this guy's face, asking him if he is a licensed official, which
classic wrestling stuff, getting close enough to kiss.
The inherent homoeroticism of the squared circle.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. The referee says, "I am." He can barely squeak it out. Again, there's a dom sub relationship that I'm feeling.
For sure.
That is,
it's there. It's present. We can't ignore it.
We can't ignore it,
even if we chose to.
You have one job tonight. It's a blow job. No,
shut up. This isn't that kind of show.
It's not, but it's becoming that kind of show.
This is a Christian show with Christian values.
I'm choosing to blame Kat, even though that's really not. That's not what's going on here.
I mean, like, I did recently have to give up caffeine, and I haven't been drinking alcohol. So, like, if it is a Christian show, do I get a planet when I die?
It's not that kind of Christian show. I'm sorry.
We'll try to hook one up for you, though.
We'll see what we can. We'll see what we can do, but no promises.
Yeah. This is not a guarantee kind of thing. Either count the pinfall or record the submission. Which I before we get to the pronunciation.
Pronunciation. We got ourselves a Matt Hardy right here on this podcast, apparently. Sorry, Lily, I didn't mean to
fuck off,
sabotage you like that.
I love the phrasing of either count the pinfall or record the submission.
Yeah,
it's really
well. It's very official sounding in what is obviously a wildly unofficial match.
Yeah.
That kind of juxtaposition is where the good content lives.
Okay, but like, I guess it's a match to the death, right? That's what a deletion
that's
match
the other
is.
thing.
So why would you need to record the submission when
like
the
pinfall,
submission is death?
Yeah, like you can pin a corpse. Pinfall, I get, but submission, if you're dead, you can't tap. You know?
Yeah. In fact, I think you will find, not that I have any personal experience with this, but you could put a corpse in all sorts of submission positions and it'll never tap, no matter how hard you tweak that ankle.
Yeah,
It's just not
that's
gonna
true.
happen.
I guess you could lift up the wrist and sort of make it tap.
Mhm,
Sort of
mhm.
weakens at Bernie's the tap.
But I feel like I no referee is going to count that as a submission. No referee worth their salt, and this referee is licensed.
Except maybe Bryce Remsburg.
That's true.
That's a reference I
Bryce
don't
has,
get.
in
Sorry.
fact, actually won a match while dead.
No, explain both. Maybe for the people on the podcast and also the people at home. I want to hear this story.
Okay, so there was, oh god, I can't remember the match. It was definitely I want to say it was a Chikara match, but
That
I
explains
can't
a lot.
remember. Hold on, let me Google this. Okay, Bryce Remsburg gets shot. It was in the middle of an 8-man tag match, and someone pulled out a finger gun.
Okay.
Because it's Chikara, you know.
Right.
Among all of the people getting shot, Bryce ends up getting shot after taking a bullet for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And like mid-match, they keep going despite the fact that the referee is lying on the mat dead. So there's a bunch of fighting back and forth, and then Undertaker style, Bryce Remsburg sits up in the middle of the ring. And I forget who he hit with a tombstone pile driver, but he hits a pretty flawless tombstone pile driver,
Good.
and then wins the match despite being the referee.
Fucking A, that's incredible.
I will send you a link to this match if I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to fight you on this though, but it does sound like he won the match while undead, which
Okay,
is technically,
fair.
canonically also true about Undertaker and Kane for a lot of matches.
Uh-huh.
I would, while that's all being sorted out, I would like to say something about the minute that I've noticed
Yes.
while watching it on a loop on mute. That tiki torch that was unlit in the shot that Kat pointed out remains unlit for the entirety of this minute. If you look, there's the one specific tiki torch that, I don't know what happened there, but it remains unlit the entire time. It wasn't just like they messed up for one shot.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, I mean, imagine they just kind of
ran out of fuel and left it unlit.
Yeah.
Do we want to briefly dissect the minute and 17 of Bryce Remsburg getting shot?
Let's
I
want
to say El Hijo del Ice Cream, but it might be Ice Cream Jr.
Let's all, just as a podcast, let's watch this.
Oh yeah, he does go around the world too.
Oh my god. Wow. That rules. That rules.
We do not see him return from the dead in this clip, though, unfortunately.
Unfortunately you do not. I do believe you can find that episode on IWTV, though.
Okay. Well, folks at home, if you need an IWTV subscription, you can enter in the code. We don't have a code.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Shit. That
Aaron
rules.
just emailed them and was like, hey, can we have a code? And they're like, sure.
Fuck,
you want me to get my code?
You give it out. Yes, give it out to the good people.
I don't remember the exact link, but if you enter So Says Media at checkout, that's the name of the production company that I run. That's SOSES Media. You get 5 days of free wrestling, which you should probably use Friday into Saturday, because Fight Forever is on.
Well, that's on YouTube.
That's right.
Yeah, Fight Forever is just on YouTube.
It's free.
It's just free for everybody. Which, I mean, the people will not hear this podcast in time for Fight Forever.
That's fair.
But anyway, IWTV is also just a real good service.
If you're a time traveler listening.
Anyway, let's get back to the minute. Let's refocus a little bit. When it's over, under no circumstances do you resuscitate Brother Nero. He must be deleted.
Now, maybe I'm just extra sensitive to it, but when he says deleted, there's a lot of spit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a wet minute.
It's It's perhaps not as wet as some other minutes, but
Some wet stunts happen in this one.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
Matt Hardy does a lot of face work in this minute that more so than other minutes, I would say, where
Mhm.
his mouth is just kind of always open in this minute, and his lower lip specifically is always like hanging in such a way to facilitate drool, frankly.
Yeah.
That it adds a crazed and even another layer of a crazed element to the Matt Hardy character, I would say.
Some ambiance, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Go ahead.
1 second. I do have a question.
Yes.
How is Matt Hardy's weird pronunciation any different from when Kelsey Grammer does his Frasier character?
It's better.
Because
is
I'm
how-
pretty sure that Matt Hardy is just playing a weird Matt Hardy version of Frasier when he's playing Broken Matt.
This is
Interesting.
I have no familiarity with Frasier, but I know Diet Coke.
I've watched Frasier all the way through more than once. So yeah, I
Uh-huh.
do. That's an interesting theory. I do think Matt Hardy's voice is better. I think Frasier is kind of just that standard shitty, mid-Atlantic or attempt at a fake mid-Atlantic accent. That I think Matt Hardy has maybe elevated and just sort of like twisted on its side just a little bit.
Interesting.
That's fair. There's definitely like that air of I am pronouncing words correctly and you are not because I'm older and wiser than you. That I think both of them have.
I think both of them have it. I think it's also very much it's like a Shatner thing. I always like to think of that clip of William Shatner yelling at some poor PA because they tried to correct him when he said sabotage. I think they all kind of come from the same place of putting on airs.
I'm laughing because it's horrible and very, very like just a vivid image. And now I must summon the evil enigma with and that's when the minute cuts off.
Yeah, we're back to abrupt endings.
Yeah, we had 1 minute that was just a beautiful self-contained story, and we lost it. Yeah, I guess overall, any other thoughts on the
I'm excited that we've entered the night. I think this makes a clear. There's a clear point of separation between the minutes we've covered up until now and this minute. It feels like we're really getting into the meat of it now, and it's an exciting time to be a host of this podcast.
It is indeed. Kat, anything else you'd want to say?
Oh god, not really.
Okay, that's
This
fair.
was a
That's
very,
fair.
very like low content, high expectorate minute.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, if we were to play this whole Matt Hardy as the hypno dom kind of thing out to its logical conclusion,
Yeah.
there might be some kind of accessories and things like that say this referee, who again seems like kind of a shitty person, but this referee might have to, I don't know, put in his asshole and leave it there. What kind of Diet Coke, what kind of thing do you think that would be?
Yeah, what plug? All right, plug is what you're talking about.
No, we've been kind of talking about this in recent episodes. I'm kind of sick of telling everybody the same 3 links.
Thank you for taking the hit when really it's just me being a grouchy old bitch who hates to plug my shit.
No, I don't like it that much either. So
does anyone really like doing their like you should listen to my stuff elevator pitch?
Really no, but I really hate doing it on my own show for the same fucking 3 links at the end of every episode.
That's why I just did a pre-recorded outro, and then I just staple that on at the end of every episode, so I don't have to hear myself say it.
See, that's what I do for Ghost Puncher. It's nice, but given that you've given us some valuable time of yours and joined us for what has been a lovely episode, I do want to hear your plugs. Where can the people find you on the internet?
Okay, so You can find me at Cat Selesnya on like literally every platform. It's my Twitter, my Instagram, my Twitch, but I don't use that anymore because I stopped streaming because Twitch sucks. My Tumblr, I still use that because I was excited to be there for the whole supernatural fandom awakening because
that was a
of
wild time.
homophobia. You can find my games because I make RPGs at catselesnya.itch.io. That's KATSLESNYA.itch.io. You can find my podcasts at SOSES.ca. I am the host and game master on the Chicks with Dice podcast, where we're currently doing a Star Wars Edge of the Empire campaign, and then monthly we do one shots. Lilith is going to be on our it'll come out for public consumption in March, but it's our February Patreon one shot where we played a interesting version of Everyone is John called Everyone is Matt Hardy.
Rather appropriately.
Yeah.
Yes, rather appropriately. Right, it is incredibly strange.
It was fucking wild.
Do you know approximately when this episode's coming out?
This is coming out this Sunday.
Okay. So if you listen to this on Sunday, on Tuesday, I will be on the Roll20 Twitch channel from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time playing Keeper of the Cards on the Roll20 Indie Showcase.
Fuck yeah. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Turns out Roll20 also pays you to do it.
Fuck. Awesome.
What a novel idea in this world of ours.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else?
I plugged my games, I plugged my shows, I plugged the upcoming stream. I've plugged the referee.
Yeah, and everybody go watch the movie The Ref with Dennis Leary and Kevin. Actually, don't. Now that I say who's in it, I'm like two people who both suck. Don't watch that movie, I guess.
Don't.
I guess the only other thing I would plug is watch more hardcore matches.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for there's the death match hour of Fight Forever. I'm forgetting what it is, but I'm gonna be staying up to watch that.
That's gonna be good. Technically, ICW No Holds Barred is kind of a local promotion to me.
Oh, really?
Not cool. Like hyper local, but within the same state, kind of local. And Jersey's not a big state, so
yeah. They throw some really fucking good shows. So yeah, I'll say that. Use that IWTV code that we gave you earlier in the show to go watch ICW No Holds Barred.
It's iwtv.live/go/SoSaysMedia and enter code SoSaysMedia at checkout for 5 free days. And we get $1 of your $10 subscription.
There you go. Wow, we had like real plugs on our show. All right. Well, Diet Coke, since we're getting real professional here at the end of this podcast with real plugs and like discount codes and stuff, don't you think that maybe we should like figure out like a cool, like kind of a catchy way to end the podcast?
No, I don't.